Hello, and you are listening to FPcast, the podcast for frivolous pursuits where we bullshit about the week in pop culture. I am Luke.
And I'm Jacinta.
And this week we're talking about...
Movies, television, collectibles, video games, comics, books, board games, and more.
Disney World. There's a lot of Disney stuff happening this week.
Yeah, I don't have any of it in my notes, so...
No. We can just riff. It's fine.
Well,
there's a little bit of it. There's a little bit
I
you've
look
got down
forward
there.
to hearing about it. I was going to say loosey-goosey, because this is a bit of a loosey-goosey catch-up episode.
Well, as you can
really.
tell, that we're already talking about shit that's not even on our run sheet.
That's right. Because there's no big movie came out this... Well, it was Baby Driver, but we already saw it. Because we are time travelers. We're not really. But
Or are we?
I'm wearing different headphones, and they're, like, really blocking out my ears. And now my voice feels really weird. Like, I feel like I'm like Doctor Strange style, floating above myself.
Maybe
sort
just...
of hearing
Maybe
it.
I think that we actually don't even need headphones
Do you reckon?
today.
Because you don't have the thing plugged in.
Yeah.
Do you reckon the audio... Whoa. Oh, holy shit.
We just took our headphones out, guys.
Oh, no, but what happened there? Now everything's really loud. Okay,
I
there we
think
go.
maybe we laughed.
All right.
We brought too much joy to the podcast.
Did the audience need to hear all of this?
Probably not.
I'm going to vote yes. So, we're going to catch up on some movies that we didn't get to talk about before, some things that maybe we missed at the cinema. We're going to talk about some news because, as Jacinta said, Disney D23 is happening, so things are coming out of that. So, a couple of trailers as well we're going to talk about, and let's just see where it all takes us. But films include Free Fire. I want to tell you all about Smurfs 3.
Which I have not seen, so I look forward, look forward in inverted commas to hear about that one.
We both watched The Promise. You're saying, what's The Promise? It's got Oscar Isaac and Christian Bale.
Chris Bale.
I
his
call him
friends.
Chris.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you about The Bad Batch, which is a very strange film.
Okay.
I also watched the anime hit Your Name. Lots of shit happening. I'm going to talk about some TV stuff. So, it's a smorgasbord.
It is. Smorgasbord.
But not where you get to choose. It's sort of like when kids at a party get bored and then they start and they start just putting everything into a cup.
So it's like a 4-course meal.
Yeah.
Where you get a lot of little taster bits, but you don't get a choice on what you get.
It's like tapas.
Tapas.
I'd tap that ass. Speaking of which, news. What do you think about Wonder Woman 2? This rumour that it could be during the Cold War.
They could set Wonder Woman 2 fucking anywhere and I would still go and watch it.
And you
I
would
don't
be
even
there.
care. I don't even care.
Could be set in Rockingham.
It could literally be set in Rockingham and I would be all there for it.
Where she's getting wolf whistled at by bogans.
Yep.
Hi, love. Put your magic lasso around me dick and it'll tell you the truth. You know what I like about the Cold War idea? Fripples. Yeah.
Everyone gets to wear like nice fluffy jackets. I love a good fluffy jacket.
Yeah. Like that reveal of the costume is always a thing. So she would have that big furry jacket, maybe a big furry hood. Yeah. And then suddenly, badam. Because I don't think Wonder Woman feels the cold, really. Because she's pretty superpowered. So, because she's the, gods and stuff.
Gods and stuff, yeah.
She's like is she a god or a demigod?
I don't know. If she was made by gods.
She's a semi-god.
The most exciting thing that I have heard out about Wonder Woman 2 is that they're possibly going to try and find a way to, minor spoiler alert, bring Old Mate back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is exciting. Like, I really loved their... whether it's probably going to be like a flashback or some kind of thing, but I would be happy for them to be in it.
I would say... I mean, I don't know, but I would guess it's probably going to be a Force ghost. Yeah. Or maybe like...
Fine by me.
Like a ghost, like Patrick Swayze ghost. Now, that would like a sexy ghost. That would be good. Because Ghostbusters famously had that scene where Dan Aykroyd got a blowjob from a ghost, but we've never seen a ghost perform cunnilingus.
Well, yeah.
So, and you know,
first.
it's 2017.
It's very feminist. Wonder Woman's very feminist. It is about time that
a ghost went downtown.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why not?
Wonder Woman 2 coming to a cinema near you.
I think we've definitely increased everybody's knowledge on the fact that Wonder Woman 2 is going to happen. Now, you probably already know the answer to this, but when I saw the headline that John Oliver was cast in The Lion King, I felt pretty assured I knew which character he was going to be.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of thinking that had to go into this one. So, Zazu.
Formerly
Makes sense.
Played by Rowan Atkinson.
Yeah.
The weird thing about some of this casting, though, don't you think, is that it's not like Rowan Atkinson is dead.
Yeah, absolutely. Though I see where they're going, that they don't want to just rehash the old movie, but then a lot of that casting in the old movie is so perfect.
Yeah, and they're not going in a radically different, with the exception of, like, I completely understand putting in Donald Glover as Simba instead of that, like, Jonathan Taylor Thomas, like, chirpy white kid kind of voice. Like, I think that makes sense to change. Yeah. Because
times have changed.
It's not just diversity. I think it's a more interesting voice. Like that sort of annoying little American boy voice is done to death. So that's exciting. But when you're going, like you're doing facsimile casting, when it's a copy of a copy, when it's like, well, he's kind of like the modern day sort of, like he's English and he's kind of like, you've got that uptighty sort of feeling to it. So let's put him in. You kind of go, well, why not just... It's like the Scar thing, and there was this rumour. What was the rumour? That
Hugh Jackman was playing Scar. And now I like Hugh Jackman, but I was not happy when I read this rumour that was going around, because I don't think that... Like, Jeremy Irons is so perfect. Like, there is no other person that you could cast that is going to be better than Jeremy Irons in this role. Just put Jeremy Irons back as Scar.
Yeah, why not? Because they've put... isn't James Earl Jones still going to be Mufasa?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, so... Yeah, why do a copy of a copy? Just go with it. Yeah. Unless there is a reason. Come on, Disney. Don't make me come over there to your Magic Castle. You know, this is how naive I was. When I went to America in 2001... And I'm on the plane, I'm sort of coming into LA and I'm sort of searching for Disneyland. And I'm thinking, it's going to be on the hill and I'm going to see the big castle. Seriously, Google map that castle. Like, it's about as big as, as a McDonald's. Like, and plus, the whole thing's not like on rolling hills, of course. It's in a huge tourist city area. But, not that big. Not even a real castle.
Disappointing.
Yeah.
You can stay in it, can't you?
Well, not for a siege. I wouldn't...
Well,
it's no Helm's Deep.
No, that's fair.
No, I don't think you can. Like, it's... inside is actually... It's sort of like the anti-TARDIS. It's smaller than it looks.
Oh.
And it's basically just all these dark, twisty corridors which have glass, like, shop windows, which have sort of maquette, puppety dioramas of the Sleeping Beauty story.
Okay.
And it smells a bit like Wee Wee. And Disneyland smells pretty good in general. Like, they pump that nostalgia smell.
Yeah.
There was a thing where they were, like, pumping a bakery smell through the bakery. Like a fresh bread cook, even though the things were just being, like, sent to them in a truck.
Yeah.
But unless they're specifically putting a Wee Wee smell in the castle... I would just steer clear of the castle. We'll go on Indiana Jones again or Pirates of the Caribbean. So, John Oliver, Lion King. Now, here's a bit of news. Like, this totally came out of nowhere for me. And I didn't even realise that this thing was happening. A new Warriors TV show. So, the lineup here. So, this is another Marvel show... And the lineup of characters is actually really exciting. Now, considering how unexciting Inhumans looks, God, I hope they get this right. Because it would be a real shame if they didn't. But Squirrel Girl is in this. And I was a big fan of the idea of Shannon Purser, who played Barb in Stranger Things, being Squirrel Girl. But instead we got Milana Vaintrub. There's no way that's pronounced Vaintrub. Vein throb.
No, don't be gross. Is this animated or is this live action?
No, I think it's live action because everybody looks
Okay.
like the character.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Like, look, that's that. We're looking at pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they all look
okay.
like they're dudes. So, yeah, this is a live action, and it's got some cool characters. So it's got Speedball. I know Speedball. It's got Night Thrasher. Night Thrashers are like it's such a good mix. Like, you've got that vein sort of looking, white guy, rugged jaw thing, and you got Squirrel Girl, who's got squirrel powers. You've got Night Thrasher, who's just sort of like a Batman-y vigilante, like, I'm gonna beat the shit out of you, thrashing about in the night. That looks cool. So please get that right. I'm looking forward to seeing some more information on that. But
So is this a Marvel-produced one?
sorry, we're looking at the article at the same time. I didn't see this. She's from Silicon Valley. I have seen her in like a lot of different things. I don't know who is doing this. Freeform TV. 10 half-hour episodes.
Okay. All right.
That's interesting. I watched the pilot for the Tick series, talking about superhero half-hour costume stuff.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's going to have that kind of feel, because it's odd that it's half an hour. It sounds more like a little more sitcom-y. But Peter
Serafinowicz.
yeah, he's playing the Tick.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Which, such an American character. You're thinking, how does this English guy do it? And his voice is amazing. It is like the cartoon version of the Tick.
Yeah,
just this
cool.
big, broad, bold, booming American. But maybe he's a little too... I don't know, there's something odd about it.
Isn't that just really something odd about the entire Tick thing? I remember seeing it like as a kid on TV and just being like, I don't understand anything of what's happening here.
The creator of the Tick, Ben Edlund, wrote the episode that I saw, and it certainly has a lot of that flavour and the way the Tick talks. But there's something about it which to me feels kind of dated. Like, it's good writing. Like, I appreciate it and I like it, but I feel like the whole thing, even though it's a bit darker than expected, needs a little more edge. And I don't mean edge in terms of like grit, violence, stuff like that, but maybe just in terms of the commentary or the humour. Like, just to...
Like, it's not sharp enough?
Yeah, I think I think maybe it's time to bring on some extra people to kind of find how... Because they've tried before. There was the Patrick Warburton version. But yeah, it's like you're just sort of circling around. Anyway, there's that, so hopefully we'll find out more about that at some point. And the other bit of news is that Netflix, bless them, because Netflix, going, do you want a Dark Crystal series? Do you want a Witcher series? And now we're going, hey, what about an Umbrella Academy series?
Because they were already doing Death Note.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which, I'm looking forward to seeing.
Is that a movie or a series?
Oh, actually, it might be... No, movie, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's all full of white people, which is going to be a bit strange, I think.
Yeah.
I think I'm one of the few people in the world that didn't actually mind the live-action Japanese version.
Oh, no, I think probably people did like them. And that's the thing, you've got that version available.
Yeah.
But, Umbrella Academy comic series, Dark Horse, I think, by the guy from My Chemical Romance.
Oh, yeah, right.
Wrote it.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah.
And I've got the first two books. I really
Don't you have, like, figures or something?
love it.
Like
I've got figures. Yeah, they're those characters up in the
yeah,
corner
yeah.
there.
Yeah, right.
So the girl in the white bodysuit with the, like, violin painted on her.
Yes. Yeah, I remember the cover of that comic,
And the big gorilla with the guy's head. Lots of really cool, quirky characters. And this is what I'm looking for, is give me a series which has superheroes. Maybe New Warriors will do this, but they're wearing costumes. They look cool. They've got interesting personalities, an interesting dynamic. Like, you love watching the characters play off each other, and they go on adventures. Like, give me that. So hopefully this will do it. I'm afraid it's been a while since I've read Umbrella Academy. It's kind of like a bit of a hipster X-Men kind of thing. They're a group of kids with special abilities. Lots of wacky things happen in it. It's really off the wall and very indie. And I can't remember any of the characters' names, even though I've got the books and the figures. But it's very cool. So, and look, I'm not going to look it up. I could have looked it up to tell you about it, but instead, think how fresh-faced and how baby fresh I will be
Going into it.
when I come to bloody watch it when it hits Netflix. I'll be like, oh, so that's her name.
Always look on the bright side.
So there you go. So there's your news.
Well, actually, before we move on, we want to talk a little bit more about D23, about some of the little bits of Star Wars stuff that came out.
Well, we just watched the making of trailer.
Yes, which I watched a little bit of this morning. I didn't, at this point, I don't want to see any more stuff, really. Like, I want to just be fresh and surprised, and so I didn't watch it this morning, but I came here, you popped it on, we watched it, and I'm really glad that I did. Even though there was some sort of, some visuals and stuff that maybe I would have liked to have been surprised at when I saw the film, but there's some really beautiful behind-the-scenes sort of Carrie Fisher stuff that
we both had
just
a moment.
Yeah, so even if you're kind of holding back on not wanting to see any more Star Wars things, do watch this. It is worth it. It's only about 2 minutes, I think.
3. I think definitely do, because they know what they're doing. Anything they want to surprise you with, they're not going to show. Like, they're so strict with that. Plus, they're showing you shots, of course, that aren't film shots. They're shots that you're not going to get to see otherwise. So, love that shot of Rey in the hood and so good. Like right towards the end with the lightsaber and wearing the like Jedi cloak. So good. But yeah, like they're giving you those snippets. I think you only ever are going to be surprised once. A lot of these creatures and things that you get clear shots of, you might see for
2 seconds
half a second, or
yeah.
they might be in the background. So I think it's a really good opportunity to see things. And, it just makes it very exciting for what's coming out. So that's really cool. And to their credit, I mean, they didn't crank out another trailer, because Star Wars, you almost don't need it. Like, give us a trailer, give us one more trailer, right? In the lead up. But otherwise, like, let's just go for it. We're all keen. We're all there.
Absolutely. They didn't release a trailer or anything for Mary Poppins, but they did release a motion poster. And like, I'm looking forward to Mary Poppins, and I think Emily Blunt looks fantastic. And you couldn't get it to work when you were trying to play before, were you? But no, it's just she's standing there, and then she opens the umbrella and puts it over her shoulder, and it's just beautiful, and it just works, and I'm very excited for it.
Great umbrella work from...
Very much so.
She should join the Umbrella Academy.
She could be a tutor.
Yeah, maybe. Crossover. Come on, synergy. Let's get all those marketing dollars. And... and also there was descriptions of the Thanos Infinity War stuff that was shown, but let's not worry about that. Let's wait until there's something for us to see. Okay, and trailer-wise, just a couple of... These are more of a heads-up than anything. Dave made a maze that was suggested to us in our Facebook group, and that's looks like an independent movie. I didn't recognise anybody in it, but it looks cool as balls.
Yeah, it does.
So it's a guy who, on the weekend, makes a maze out of cardboard. It looks like a sort of fortress. It's not that big. It's in the living room. But inside, now we're going back to TARDIS territory.
And it is a TARDIS.
There is a labyrinth inside, but everything's made out of cardboard. There's puppets, there's clever contraptions and things, and a crew go in and try and extract him.
Yeah.
Through this. And look, so fucking smart when you think about how, what are they using? Like, it's stuff that is so cheap, but it's all about the ingenuity and the creativity and what you do with it. Like, what a perfect... That's the sort of thing where you're going to hear that the director is then directing, like, Venom 7 or something, because they pick out those people that can do a lot with a little.
Not much,
Yeah, so that is so cool. And then the other thing was A Wrinkle in Time. Is that directed by Ava?
I believe so. That's what the trailer said.
She's the Dear White People producer, creator, director. I don't know. I know her from Project Greenlight. But this is an adaptation of A Wrinkle in Time, which I guess I've got a feeling is a more popular children's book in America, because... they always talk about it being a classic, but I've read a lot of classics, and I've never really encountered it here.
I was a big reader as a kid, and I hadn't really heard of it before.
We do have the graphic novel at work, which was done by Hope Larson, Brian Lee O'Malley's, I think, ex now. But yeah, And this has Oprah Winfrey in it.
Yeah, she looks fucking great.
Yeah.
She looks cool.
Like, as sort of mystical, powerful person. Also, do you notice, like, it's got Chris Pine in it. But he's not the first name that comes up. It's not like, like every other, like, movie made by white people where the white guy's name is first.
Yeah, though.
He's right down the bottom.
I did see some people talking about the trailer that had read the book this morning, and they said that he's the dad character, and the dad character's, like, not really in the movie at all. And so they were actually quite surprised by how much he featured in the trailer, but...
That could be just Wonder Woman, like, residue.
Yeah,
Where
absolutely.
They go, like, well, put him in because he was just in Wonder Woman, and people will go, oh, yeah, that guy.
Yeah, so I think in the actual film, he probably won't be featuring in it particularly heavily at all. So that's fair enough that he's right down the list.
And Mindy Kaling. And how does Oprah have the time?
Well, she's got heaps of time now. She hasn't got a show anymore.
Doesn't she do the show anymore?
No, she stopped doing that ages ago.
Well, no one told me.
Well, did you want a fucking falcon with a little note tied to its leg to come and find you personally to let you know that Oprah was no longer doing her television show?
I've got to check my Google alerts. Make sure that's all working. Oh, but look, good on Oprah. Why not? Why not be a powerful, like, mystical character and everything? She could have played Thanos.
She could have played Thanos, yeah. Though, I don't know, like, would Oprah really have wanted to sit there and have all those... You know, Josh Brolin had that, like, the clay put on his head?
Yeah.
I just don't see Oprah putting up with shit like that.
She got the time. I think she's fine.
She's got the time, but she doesn't have the cash.
Could be, like, spiritual healing clay.
Maybe.
That's more of a Paltrow thing.
Steaming a vagina and spiritually healing her skin.
Yeah, gosh. The vagina gets a work over. So, let's talk about some reviews. These aren't going to be massively in-depth, but these are some things that you might want to hear about, or some just weird things that I want to tell you about. So you watch Free Fire?
I did watch Free Fire. It is part of the Revelation Film Fest this week, these couple of weeks in Perth. And they've had a couple of screenings of Free Fire, which is a 70s Boston shootout movie.
Whole thing is a shootout in a warehouse. Got a great cast: Armie Hammer, Brie Larson.
Sharlto Copley steals this movie.
Yeah. And it's directed by Ben Wheatley, who did High Rise, which we both quite enjoyed. I have not heard your thoughts about this. What did you think of Free Fire?
I liked it, actually. I maybe didn't like it quite as much as I thought I was going to, but then it wasn't quite the film that I was expecting it to be. Like, I feel like I almost went in thinking that it was going to be a Guy Ritchie-esque kind of sharp, zingy sort of film, and that's not fair because that's not really what Ben Wheatley does. But what I did really enjoy about it is how the character dynamics, and how, even though it's literally just a shootout for like an hour and a half, the dynamics of the battle changed a lot as it went along, and the relationships between people changed. I like they just had such a limited playground, or like you could imagine this being like some sort of shooter map where people are moving around the map and trying to get around. And I love there was something really human about the way all these people reacted to getting like injured and shot and stuff. It was so it was funny. Like, some of it wasn't really meant to be funny, but it was just like, oh, I just love the way they are reacting to what is happening to each other and their situation, and that's what I really loved about this film.
I was going to say, because I agree that, like, you almost go, well, it doesn't have quite that sting of like a Guy Ritchie or a Tarantino or something, where the stakes get really high and you're sort of blindsided by things. But there's this balance that it's doing, because in order to do that, like, you look at how Tarantino handles tension, and it's very, very tightly choreographed, like, and timed. Whereas this is like the anti-John Wick. This isn't about choreographed dance-like gun violence. This is about pure chaotic what would happen if everyone was in a warehouse shooting at each other?
Yeah.
Answer is you're going to get shot. You're going to
Yeah.
get shot a lot, and you're not going to like it, and it's going to get hurt.
Yeah,
So-
and the realistic thing is, like, it's not going to be John Wick where he's nailing pinpoint shots everywhere. It's like, everyone's shit at shooting.
Yeah.
Like, they're not very good at shooting guns, and that's what happens in this movie.
So I kind of agree with you. Like, I liked it. I enjoyed it. I like the aesthetic of it. I like the concept. I like the characters. I like the dynamic. I think the dialogue isn't, like, ultimately the most memorable dialogue, but it is good.
Yeah.
Like, it works. And I enjoyed it, but it didn't elevate to a point where I went, this is going to be one of my favourite things of the year. That said, I think it absolutely delivers on its premise, and it's definitely worth a watch.
Yeah,
But
very solid. I really enjoyed. Shelter Copley was a bit of a scenery
He's
chewer,
pretty
but
amazing.
I did enjoy him a lot, and another good performance from Jack Raynor, who I quite like, and he was one of the front runners for Han Solo originally.
Oh, he was from...
He was in Sing Street. He was in Fassbender's Macbeth. He was in...
what's the movie? Was he in Brooklyn?
No, that's not
Okay.
him.
All right.
No, he's been in a bunch of stuff. He plays a kind of scallywag in a lot of things, but...
A ruffian,
A scallywag and a ruffian,
a
yeah.
monkey shiner. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can picture him. I know who you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was good. Yeah.
Yeah, it's worth a watch. It's an interesting concept and well executed. And we want to champion things that are trying to do something a little bit different, and this does.
Yes.
Yes.
I saw Smurfs 3.
Right.
I don't know why. I'm like working out a lot of stuff at home, and I just watch whatever. And because the book was better, I've seen the other ones. So I was kind of curious because this was the shift to CGI. And like just all CGI.
Okay.
There's no humans in it. It's just the Smurfs in the village. It's called The Lost Village.
Right.
I'm going to spoil this film.
Okay. I've never
Okay.
seen any Smurfs film,
Yeah,
so
and
I'm not
I don't-
going to watch this.
I don't think our audience is worried about that. I think the audience would rather hear me spoil this film. So you know the premise, right? The Lost Village. So
Did they find another village of
Let's
Smurfs?
find another village.
Yeah,
okay. All right. Well, is it Smurfs?
I don't care. But go on.
Let's play How Well Do You Know Sony? This is a game.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to give you
Right.
3 options
Okay.
that are in the Lost Village. And you
Right.
tell me which one it is.
Okay.
Option 1, the Lost Village turns out to be a primitive race of sort of like tribal early Smurfs. Mm-hmm. Option 2, you can play this at home if you're
Okay.
listening, or in the bus, or wherever you are in the gym. I don't think our listeners go to the gym. Number 2, the Lost Village contains the Smurf cousins characters. You know, like the hillbilly Smurf and the other female Smurf, the ones that were in the cartoon. It brings them into this movie universe.
Okay.
3, it's a Lost Village of all female Smurfs who do yoga, get facials, and listen to 90s club music.
Okay. I feel like I want to go with number 1.
The primitive, savvy. See, that for me would be something that sort of comes out of like the original, was it Italian? Payo. Are they Spanish? I don't know, but the original Smurfs
Okay.
comics? No. It's the all-female yoga facials
Oh, Jesus, really?
and club music. It's that, what's that blue song? Ah, ba ba da ba da.
It's Blue. It's
Blue,
called
yeah.
Blue, yeah.
Yeah.
The
That-
Eiffel 65 song?
Yeah, that plays, and they're doing yoga and stuff. And Julia Roberts is like the Papa Smurf of the women, and they're all like
But I was okay.
sassy and crazy.
I was sure that I saw in the trailer there's like a male Smurf that was meant to be from this village, but maybe that was a...
No, they're like wearing, like when you first see them, they got masks and stuff, and you don't know they're female, and they look kind of male, and they look tribal. But then they're
okay.
all, hey, we're sassy women.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, that's where I got the tribal thing from.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, well, see, that's what made it credible. But with Sony, we're talking about.
Yeah, fair enough.
You know how, like, there's an impeachment meter, there's a doomsday clock, there's all those swinging things? I'm putting the arrow back to fuck Sony
Okay.
this week.
Cool. All right.
So, okay, now, Sony, the Emoji Movie.
Yes.
Tell me, what's the premise of that from the trailer?
Isn't it that
The meh.
the meh emoji wants to prove that he can be more than just meh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so in this one, Smurfette's like, well, Hefty Smurf He's really strong. Brainy's really smart. Jokey, he's jokey. And there is a table-eating Smurf as well that just eats a table. But what am I? What's an et? I don't understand. Why aren't I summed up by one trait? Now, then they're going to bring out the Emoji Movie, where it's like, why do I have to be summed up by one trait? I want to be something else. Are you trying to confuse my kids, Stoney? Like, you got one story, and you just keep flipping it around.
Yeah. The kids won't notice.
And of course, at the end, they're like, oh, but Smurfette doesn't have to... Oh, and they're going like, what's an et, though? That doesn't make sense. What's an et? We've got to find out what an et is. It's like a feminine form.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go. I solved it. I'm yelling that at the screen. Do you think those Smurfs listen?
No.
They didn't. And at the end, it's like, oh, well, she doesn't have to be defined by one trait. She's lots of different things. Which is
Mainly
sort of
her
going
vagina.
back. Yeah, I know. Like, God, the like, I think Hefty, Brainy, and Clumsy go along with her and find this, like, village of women. And I'm like, these guys are never going home or telling anybody else. Like, holy crap.
Like, we're just going to go on a trip for a couple of weeks all by ourselves.
Yeah. Because it's them pregnant. And the other problem with this film is that Gargamel.
Gargamoil.
I was going to say Gargamoil. Isn't that the, like, circumcision dude? Gargamoil wants to circumcise all of these Smurfs and turn their foreskins into gold. No, so Gargamel's the villain, right?
Yes.
How does that ever make you fearful for the Smurfs? Like, how is he a scary villain? How has he ever been a scary villain? Has he ever done anything? The only way that you could, like, make him a scary villain is he would have to rape one of these Smurfs. And I'm seeing how you look at it. I'm not trying to joke about it. I'm saying, like, that's a horrible thing. It's not a funny thing.
Yeah.
But that's why you need, and I mean someone like Hefty. Like a big strong one. Like, you need
Still
to...
a kids movie,
You
though.
need to see Hefty... I know, but you need something to give this guy, like, power. Like, I don't know, you could tell it backwards, irreversible style.
I don't know. Like, Gargamel's like a normal human-sized guy. He could just, like, pour fucking acid on the Smurf
I know,
village.
but if you knew...
Like, you know...
If you knew that he'd raped Hefty, that would put a pallor over everything. Like, you would be frightened of this guy.
Yeah,
Just think about it. Think about it.
I'm absolutely not going to think about that
it
at all,
a lot
ever.
tonight when you get home. Tell us about... let me just mention another anime, because I went down a dark path. I saw Boss Baby.
Right.
And this is really controversial. Not as bad as you would think.
Yeah, right.
Like, I'd give it 2.5.
Okay. That's DreamWorks?
Yeah. But it doesn't have all those cringeworthy kind of... It's not really sort of questionable in terms of values or anything. It's just kind of fine. Like, and their marketing, it sucks. Because I hated that character in the marketing. And, of course, he says those things, but... That doesn't dominate the whole thing, like his elitist thing. He actually... But look, this is the thing. This is a spoiler for Boss Baby, but a very minor one.
Okay.
You know how we watched the trailer and I was just like, what the fuck? Like, how does this work? How is he a Boss Baby? How do the parents not see this or whatever? It's not real. The brother has an overactive imagination, which is established at the beginning. So it's a metaphor. It's his way, how he sees the baby.
The baby's getting too much attention and
how
taking time away from him.
How he sort of interacts and has a fantasy game with the baby in order to become friends with the baby is by pretending, oh, well, you've got a mission and I'm going to help you. And by helping him on the mission, they become very tight. And he realizes, wow, I just had this big fun game, basically, with my brother and now everything's cool. So just that tiny tweak of... He's just imagining that this is the thing. Suddenly, like, it's so much more palatable than the idea of this baby is a bot. Like, yeah, because that didn't make sense to me. So now, look, I've put those demons to bed. That wolf's at bay. All good. I made my peace with Boss Baby.
I'm sure Boss Baby is thrilled.
I'm going to buy all the pop vinyls. And I'm going to dress like a baby.
Okay.
Tell me about The Promise.
Oh, The Promise is a romance set against the Armenian genocide of World War I. How romantic. Yeah.
It's not even actually that much about the titular promise, is it?
No,
I feel
really,
like that kind of gets resolved at some point.
Yeah. So, it is Oscar Isaac and Christian Bale and
A lady.
no, fuck. I'm gonna look up her name because I do know her name,
shall I just vamp?
Yeah, no, I've definitely seen her in other stuff. Okay, so it's Charlotte Le Bon. Okay,
Le Bon.
Le Bon.
Is good.
Le Bon is good. She was in the wonderful French movie The Walk, also.
Oh.
with Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Yes, my favourite
yes,
French actor.
yes.
Other than after Ewan McGregor.
Yeah. Yeah, so I actually quite enjoyed this film. It's a long film. It goes for about 2 hours and it feels like it goes for 2 hours, which I guess is probably a big thing considering I said I enjoyed it, yet I felt it was very long. The romance, if that is the kind of thing that might be putting you off, it's not even really about that at all. Like, it exists, there's kind of this love triangle type of thing, but it never takes away from the actual events that it is trying to kind of
Shine a light on.
Yeah. And even the love triangle thing, it's handled in a very sort of grown-up way. Like, there's none of that. You might expect that, you know, there'd be some massive, huge conflict and a fight, and it would just make it all about this romance instead of the conflict, instead of the, you know, the genocide issue.
It's more about the genocide.
Yeah, absolutely. And it, even though I'm saying that it is quite long, like, I was trying to think about what element of it I might want to take out or cut down, and there wasn't anything really. Like, I feel like everything in the film was quite important to the story. And the main character, Oscar Isaac's character, does go on such a long and arduous journey that to take much out of the story would, you know, feel like it was at a detriment to that journey. And he is acting with a capital A in this film.
Yeah, it's very much an Oscar Isaac joint. I would think that unless it's like a sort of, you know, Sunday afternoon, I'm going to sit in front of the telly and watch kind of film, maybe it's more, I would aim it at the people that are like, oh, Oscar Isaac, he's so dreamy. I want to watch him for 2 hours because you're going to get satisfied, like, I think, if you do that.
It's a tough watch. Like, there's a lot of very tough things that are put in front of you. So it's not a, you know, oh, Oscar Isaac's playing a dreamy doctor. Oh, and it's a romance. Oh, you're not going to get that out of it.
He is dreamy, though.
Oh, yeah, I mean, he is dreamy.
He's kind of smouldering.
He is.
I feel like, that said, it's about a really horrible event and it opened your eyes about that, but it didn't have that effect on me like the piano or something like that. And that's not because I'm not talking about the event itself, I'm talking about the filmmaking. Like, it doesn't have any sort of... Oh, no, that's not entirely true. There's a couple of things in there that are pretty heavy going. But I
think it's the way the event progresses is the most interesting thing for me. Even the people who would be affected by it kind of saying, oh, no, we're fine, we're far enough, it's going to be all okay. And you're just sort of seeing the way that the people involved in this are kind of reacting to it and the people outside of it are reacting to it. And you can definitely draw parallels to other sort of areas of history.
It's a cautionary tale.
Yes.
Looking at you, Mr. Trump. So, you talked about acting with a capital A. I won't spoil the context of this, but the thing that really struck me is there's a point where Oscar Isaac cries so much on a woman's head that her hair is just absolutely strung up in saliva and goop and attached to his head.
There is so much saliva, like to the point where I was eating and it made me stop.
All that was missing is he needed to put a note on her that said, courtesy of your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, so the police could come and take her away, because she was webbed up, dog.
Yeah, it was a bit... Because, like, that would be... Like, that actress is lying there, having him drool on her head. Like...
And the director obviously is like, we're using that
emotion.
That is really full on. And he's like, are you sure? And she's like, get me a shower, please.
And she's like, can we please not do a second take?
Not in my face, not in my eyes. So, yeah, very interesting. So that's the promise. And not a massive amount of Christian Bale, but exactly what you'd expect from Christian Bale. What a gruff prick he is.
Yes.
In this thing. I want to talk about The Bad Batch. This is a really, really odd film, more so than anything I've seen for a long time. I'm not 100% sure I recommend it because it's very sort of slow-moving and strange, but just the fact that it exists is kind of cool. So It's a film by, and I'm sorry, I don't have a name handy. Our notes have just says The Bad Batch. I didn't write down any information about it, but she's the director of A Woman Walks Home Alone at Night, which was, I think, the Iranian vampire movie.
Yeah.
Her new film's The Bad Batch, and it's set in Texas. It's dystopia, and the idea is that everybody who's, like, too criminal or dumb or whatever gets sent out into this wasteland. And a lot of them live in these kind of makeshift trailer parks and are cannibals. Mm-hmm. And the movie's quite graphic as well. They, like, eat people. And Suki Waterhouse is the star. She was in Pride and Prejudice and Zombies. She was one of the sisters. Okay. English, but playing American. And she gets kicked out and into the wasteland, and bad things happen to her pretty quickly. So it's this odd kind of Mad Max looking cannibal Holocaust movie, which is really graphic in times, quite bloody. But what makes it even odder is it stars Jason Momoa is in it as Miami Man. Okay. Who's like, there's all these like muscle builders and little posing pouches at one point, and he's always shirtless, and he has Miami Man tattooed across his chest. Right. Jim Carrey is in this as a kind of mute hobo who just searches around for junk and kind of gets involved in stuff. Keanu Reeves is in this as the Dream, who, like, in this settlement where they're more civilized, is kind of like this religious sort of guru figure that everybody loves. Diego Luna is a DJ in a cowboy hat with his shirt open and a cigarette hanging out of his mouth. I don't think he has any lines, but his name's Jimmy. And he plays inside a giant boombox. Okay. It's just weird. Like, you're watching it, and then these people turn up, and you're like, what? And, like, you're going to watch the first 20 minutes or so and go, oh, no, this is cool. Like, I really like this. But I don't think it ever really goes to a place that you need it to. But, yeah, Bad Batch, look it up. I've not seen the trailer. I don't know how it sells itself. But so interesting. And obviously these actors have the faith in her to come in and do this thing, because I can't imagine anyone's getting paid much. But, yeah, wow. And it just shows you again how much things have changed. And that's something I've noticed with these movies. Like, I hadn't heard about The Promise, and when you see what these people are doing, like the fact that Tom Holland is in Spider-Man, but he's in Lost City of Z and Pilgrimage as well this year, which you might go, I've never heard of either of those films. And yeah, these actors are doing all this stuff. Like, Jim Carrey used to get $20-40 million to do a film, and now he's in The Bad Batch being a filthy hobo. And I was looking at the top box office for the year, or for the last 12 months, I think it was. No, it was for the year, for 2017 so far. And the top 100 movies, like number 100 is just breaking $1 million. So even though like 5,000 movies might come out a year, there's only like 100 of those that are making $1 million, which gives you a good idea of what people are getting paid in just even the top 100 movies. And then when you think of all the actors that are living working actors, not a lot of space in that 100 movies for them to get paid and to have a career. Especially when you think some of them are headlining, like in that 100 movies, like Scarlett's headlined Rough Night and Ghost in the Shell. There's 2. Like, where does that leave everybody else? You know what I mean? Like, it's a small pie. So when you see what these people are doing, like, just on the side, it's so different from some of their big blockbuster stuff.
Yeah, and it's funny, you see what they choose to then promote on their social media. Like, I think Joe Manganiello was in Smurfs 3, and he would have...
Yeah, he was hefty.
Oh, was he? Okay.
Yeah.
And he was, promoting that. But, if you follow Jason Momoa on Twitter, I don't think he was promoting The Bad Batch. And I follow Diego Luna on social media, and he sure as shit wasn't promoting The Bad Batch.
Momoa's in something else as well. Can't think what it was.
He had a Netflix series called Frontier as well.
Yeah.
Did you watch any of that?
No.
No, I haven't seen it either.
But another movie that I've seen recently. I've seen a lot recently. Speaking of that list, I think that's a pretty good benchmark for us to look at. And when we're looking at which movies we've seen, and I don't want to, I want to see beyond that list. I love when we see smaller things as well. But we should cover most of that list, and we're doing a pretty good job so far. But what's interesting is we've talked about diversity, and there are certainly movies from other countries that we mightn't have heard of as much here that are on that list. One of them, which did come to cinemas here, is Your Name, which is the anime, and that is actually number 13 for the year.
Yeah, cool.
So definitely worth a look. You haven't seen it yet. I'm not going to spoil it. I'm not going to spoil anything. I'm not going to say much about it, except I really enjoyed it. I think I gave it 4 stars.
Oh, isn't this the one where Daisy Ridley did a voice?
No. Oh, I don't know. I watched the subtitles.
No, I think there was a dub version. I think she did the voice in this.
Oh, okay. I haven't watched the dub version.
Okay.
And I wouldn't
dub versions are awful.
I wouldn't recommend anyone watching a dub version. But yeah, it's really good. It's about 2 people, 2 teenagers, a girl and a boy, who have a strange connection. I'm not going to say what that connection is. There's a point early on, quite early on, where you go, oh, I know what this connection is. Because it doesn't hide it. And you think, yeah, I've got this. And I've seen this before in films, and it's being handled in a nice, fresh way. I just want to say there's more to it than that. Mm-hmm. Like, as it progresses, that's not the only thing. You know, there's a lot more substance to the film, and that's what surprised me. Because I was already enjoying it, and then when it went, like, when you saw that it was using that as a stepping stone to even another bigger idea, I was like, oh, this is really cool.
Cool.
Yeah, and quite, like, emotional, quite engaging. It's sweet, thoughtful, smart film.
Yeah,
So,
I've only heard good things about it, so it's definitely one that I do want to check out at some point this year.
So I recommend that, and I'm curious about the dub now because I want to hear Daisy, but yeah.
Yeah, I could be wrong, but I'm sure she definitely did a
That
dub
rings
version
a
of something.
bell.
Yeah.
But
Dubs are gross.
But yeah, if you're watching it for the first time, definitely watch the original Japanese version.
So my diversity watch this week, I went back to Korean dramas, which
What? It's not diverse anymore.
It's not diverse if all I watch is Korean dramas. No, there was a new series that came out, I don't know, about 2 weeks ago or something, called The Bride of the Water God, which there'd been heaps and heaps of hype about this. It was really being sold as like...
There's Water God fever.
Well, more that it was being sold as like the next Goblin. And if you have ever listened to this show, you'll know that I was a huge fan of Goblin earlier this year. And this was kind of being pumped up as being, you know, the next big thing after Goblin. I watched the first episode, and it's pretty interesting. And to its credit, its first episode is far more straightforward than that Goblin first episode, which was nearly incomprehensible. I had no idea what was happening in it. This one, so in this story, which is explained very simply at the start, which is good, there is the God Kingdom, and there is the like the Skylands, the Waterlands, and like the Earth Kingdom.
Skylanders, Spyro the Dragon's there.
Yeah. There's no like Fire Kingdom or anything, so maybe Spyro would be there. And basically the king of the Water Kingdom is by default the emperor of the entire God Kingdom. Okay. And
because the Earth is mostly water.
Yeah.
And our bodies, human bodies too.
Absolutely. And so the son of the current emperor, like, he's going to become emperor soon, but before he does that, he has to go to Earth and find
his
these,
name
like...
is Emperor soon.
Just
agree and keep
fine,
talking.
Fine. And so he has to collect these stones on Earth for some reason, and even he's questioning, why the fuck do we put these stones on the Earth? That makes no sense. I hate all of this. Why do I have to do it?
Busy work.
Yeah. And so he goes down to Earth to find these stones, but on his journey, something goes wrong. He loses all his powers. He loses the map. And he loses this stone that he was meant to use to get basically his human helper to remember that they're his human helper and to, you know, send him on his journey. And I quite liked it. I think maybe the first episode is less money than Goblin, I think, because there was a lot of cash in that first episode of Goblin with the ship and all of that sort of stuff. But, solid. There's some nice kind of sidekicky sort of characters that are some nice comic relief. And, yeah, I think I'm going to push on with it. It's
What's that name again?
First start. The Bride of the Water God.
Who is a goblin?
He's not a goblin.
No, the bride is a goblin.
No, the bride's not a goblin.
Who falls in love with a goblin.
No!
There's got to be a goblin in there somewhere.
No.
Okay.
No, there's no goblin.
I like my shows with goblins.
I mean, I like my shows with goblins too, but
That's
given
why
there's no more goblin to watch.
That's why I watch Big Bang Theory. They're all goblins.
You know, I signed up to Foxtel Now so I could watch Game of Thrones without having to go to a whole lot of effort. And
Speaking of which, so yes, next week, fuck yeah, Game of Thrones.
hell yeah.
Returns.
But, like, I flicked on, like, the TV guide, and, like, there's some channels that are just showing fucking Big Bang Theory for, like, 12 hours. And I'm like, why is this still happening?
Yeah, I don't really watch it. I've seen, like, maybe 1 or 2 episodes peripherally.
I saw
and,
some when it first started.
I don't like it. Well, I don't like any sort of networky sitcom. Fuck that. Because I'm edgy, man.
Yeah. It's so indie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you got one more thing on this list.
Oh, yeah, TV. So last year I spoke about Clever Man, which is the Indigenous superhero series on the ABC, and I sort of expressed a little bit of angst over the series finale, which cut off just as things were getting interesting, and I had faith that season 2 would come back and we would find out everything that happened during the event that the season finale led to. And sadly, it didn't. It completely skipped that whole kind of battle that you were thinking you were going to see, and it starts straight up with the aftermath. And so,
Cheap. That's a budget cut right there.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And so I must admit, I was a little tiny bit disappointed with the first episode because I just kind of felt a little bit ripped off. But I think we're 3 episodes into season 2 at the moment, and I've got to say, at this stage, it's definitely developing and expanding on a lot of those ideas in season 1. Like, season 1 feels like such a setup at this point, and season 2 is really starting to get quite interesting, even just 3 episodes in, which I think season 1 took a while to get going. So basically, it's like 2 brothers, Cohen, who is the clever man and has all these kind of special powers and stuff, and Waru, his older brother, who feels a bit ripped off because he thought he should have been the clever man, and kind of on opposing sides of this not war against these Harrys that are, you know, a minority group who are being treated very badly. And
the Ha-Ha Harrys.
Oh god, remember the Ha-Ha Harrys? Holy
Trying to
shit.
steal all the Harry Pies.
Oh fuck, that show was amazing. And yeah, so at the moment all these Harrys are just in hiding and the police are trying to find them and basically put them through this process that
Shave them.
basically, yeah, they inject them with this stuff that makes all their hair fall out and trying to introduce them into the community, and it's just like, whoa! So there's a lot of cool stuff going on in season 2, and I'm really enjoying it, actually.
Well, I haven't seen Clever Man, but I'm a big fan of Clever Girl, which is set at the Raptor Academy.
Yeah.
Yeah, love it. With Professor Muldoon. So, yeah, okay, that's it. That's the show.
It is.
That's the show. So, next week, fuck yeah, Game of Thrones. Movies kick back in. It's, what is it? Dunkirk? Dunkirk next
I'm
week.
so looking forward to Dunkirk.
Holy crap.
We're going to IMAX the shit out of that. It's going to be like the planes are shooting right in our faces.
That's right. And yeah, thanks for listening. Go to fruitlesspursuits.com to find out everything else we're doing. A new episode of Half Hour History this week as well, which is about dire wolves. We're just about to record that now, so I can't tell you if it's any good. It might not be. And yeah, on our Fruitless Pursuits, you'll find links to our Facebook, iTunes, all that sort of stuff. I've been listening to the very, very funny, amazing podcast, Adventure Zone. And they constantly telling you, please, you've got to help us. You've got to rate and review on iTunes. It really helps us. And they are massively, massively popular. And they are still spending a lot. I feel guilty when I ask you guys, but they are begging people to do that. And speaking of which, we got an excellent new review on the Americans iTunes store. So really do appreciate that. It helps us heaps. And it just even helps us keep going, like knowing you guys are listening. But the other thing is, you know, as we said before, when we go for opportunities, like we're losing, like no one's inviting us to stuff anymore. Like people just look at the numbers, unfortunately. They look at the social media numbers, things like that. We need your help. That's what I'm going to say about that.
And Patreon too. Like at the moment, like obviously we appreciate anyone who is contributing to our Patreon, very much so. At the moment, there's probably not going to be a lot of kind of bonus content being pumped out because we're busy with doing other stuff. But if you can support the show, that is fantastic because we're spending like anywhere between $40 to $100 a month on going to see movies, and any little bit that you know you can help keeps us going to see movies. So you get to, you know, so if you donate towards the show, you can tell us what the hell you want us to watch.
Yeah, or good and hood, but if you can spread the word, that's my thing. Just spread the word, like whether you know, the way that stuff works as well. You can write fucking whatever you want in that thing. It's just the fact that they are there, you know, and that it's getting found. Anyway, enough of that noise. It's made me go all red. So thanks. See ya next week. Dunkirk. Thanks. Bye.
Camelot.
Camelot.